Isaac Newton, who lived 300 years ago in England, was a revolutionary mathematician and scientist, particularly in the field of astronomical physics. He was also an avid engineer and inventor. He is best known for discovering gravity and for his 3 laws of motion. He discovered that light contains all the colours we see. He invented differential calculus, a new kind of telescope, accurate clocks, and even the cat flap. And he was a Christian, a follower of Jesus. He was committed to the idea that the universe operates consistently according to natural laws that can be understood and described only because God designed it and created it to work the way it does. As a young boy, Isaac spent a lot of time alone and loved to experiment and invent stuff. He was always building and tinkering with things that moved, windmills, wheels and machines. He loved to read books and had a massive library. He went to Cambridge University to study maths, but whilst he was there, the plague broke out and caused many deaths, and so he was sent back home. While home, Isaac got busy experimenting and inventing again with all the new knowledge he'd picked up at uni. And he certainly got a lot done during his lockdown. He wanted to experiment and to describe the universe mathematically, which was revolutionary in his day, a whole new way of thinking about the world, which challenged the beliefs of many at that time. As he observed an apple falling from a tree, he explored the idea that it was being pulled down by an invisible force, and this led to him discovering gravity. He wanted to discover how light works too, and how we see colours. He was constantly experimenting and note-making to see what he could discover. He stared at the sun, jabbed a stick in his eye, and used glass prisms to split the light into its constituent colours. He had a fascination with planetary motion and astronomy, and invented a reflective telescope which used mirrors rather than lenses and was 1/10 the size of other telescopes. When he was 26, Isaac Newton became the youngest ever professor at Cambridge University, specialising in mathematics. He became the leading scientific figure in England, and for 25 years he served as president of the Royal Society, the nation's scientific association. Later in life, he served for 2 years as an MP for Cambridge and was a warden for the Royal Mint, where he developed a system of weighing money to test if it was genuine gold. In this way, he helped bring many forgers to justice. Isaac never married, struggled with depression and didn't sleep well, but his many accomplishments were officially recognised when he was knighted by Queen Anne, making him Sir Isaac Newton. His book, Mathematical Principles of Natural Philosophy, is considered one of the greatest single contributions in the history of science and undergirds much of physics as we know it today. As a firm believer in God and a faithful follower of Jesus, Isaac Newton would have known well what the Bible says about the universe we observe. The heavens declare the glory of God, the skies proclaim the work of his hands. Isaac said, "Gravity explains the motion of the planets, but it cannot explain who sets the planets in motion." Isaac wasn't perfect. Like any Christian, he knew he made mistakes and needed forgiveness from God. But we remember and celebrate him today as an example of creative thinking and dedication to learning and discovering as much as possible about the universe and the way it works. Isaac Newton's work is the foundation of modern physics. We sometimes forget that he was a Christian whose faith and worldview gave him his subject. His actions have made the world a better place, and he shows us what can happen when followers of Jesus love to learn.